actually, today, almost half of the world's code is written by AI tools, and 75% of developers say they're satisfied with the outcome.
What do you think people get wrong about AI at the moment?
People tend to address this with a lot of fear and also with a binary mindset. We many times look at AI adoption with only a technology lens, but it's not only that. I am Myladie Stoumbou. I am currently leading partner development for innovative companies across 109 countries in Central Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa for Microsoft. So I'm working with the region's best innovators who are embedding AI into their applications and into their business models. I started my career 30 years back and we didn't have AI yet. AI was at the time a research topic and it sounded a lot like science fiction. I am blessed with the opportunity to witness this evolution of technology, but also revolution that technology brings to our life.
If, let's say, AI is the new colleague, the prompt is the language to speak to this colleague. So we have to learn.
Prompting is very important. The prompts we make is what helps AI produce outcomes for us.
That leads me to the question about identity, because our work is our identity. And if AI is going to take quite a lot of the tasks, what next when this work is taken away? What is our identity?
The opportunity to work with AI is an invitation for us because it opens space for us to ask, if AI is doing a lot of repetitive tasks for me, what is the unique human value that I bring to my job?
If you have to advise somebody to get their knowledge on AI and start using AI and help their daily life and their work, what are the 3 things you would recommend?
Number 1.
Good morning, Myladie. I'm so happy to have you again on my podcast. You were one of my first guests when my podcast was only on audio.
Thank you, Ani. Thank you very much for inviting. It's great to be back. Now it's a video podcast, so a different experience. Looking forward.
Exactly. And thank you so much for taking the time of your busy schedule to do this and talk about the topic we're going to talk about, AI, and what the future of work holds for all of us. But before we go into that topic that many people are questioning and wondering what is next for them, can we go back? And just for all the people that are going to watch this podcast, can you talk about yourself? Who is Myladie? Who was Myladie when you started, before you became this great executive in one of the best companies in the world?
So I am Myladie Stoumbou. I am currently leading partner development for innovative companies across 109 countries in Central Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa for Microsoft. So I'm working with the region's best innovators who are embedding AI into their applications and into their business models. So that's my current job, but I started my career 30 years back. I studied computer engineering and I have, I would say, a long career starting from an engineer role to a project manager role and later business development and sales roles. And I have to say, when I was studying computer engineering, we didn't have the internet yet. We didn't have the mobile phone yet. We didn't have cloud computing yet. We didn't have social media yet. And we didn't have AI yet. And AI, by the way, was at the time a research topic. And it sounded a lot like science fiction. It would take us ages to reach to the level of AI we have today. So I have I am blessed with the opportunity to witness this evolution of technology, but also revolution that technology brings to our life.
It's amazing, right? 30 years long career. And I remember because we're almost the same age, how we started. And I remember the ancient computers and computer engineering without really computers. It sounds very, very funny.
Only monitors, no windows, no
exactly.
images.
Yeah, exactly. These clunky big
Screens.
monitors,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah. If we talk about AI, what do you think people get wrong about AI at the moment?
I think because AI hype is overwhelming, and because what is happening right now is revolutionary in many aspects, people tend to become a bit, to address this with a lot of fear, okay? And also with a binary mindset. What do I mean by that? AI is here to replace us. AI is here to take our jobs. All the jobs or many jobs will be done by AI only without the
Yeah.
human on the side. And I think we are missing the opportunity to see how AI can help us, can help augment our capabilities, can help improve our day to day, can help increase our productivity, and can help us have more meaningful time at work. Okay, so I think if we manage to place AI into our mindset, that AI is here to take the tasks that we don't usually enjoy, the routine tasks, the repetitive tasks, the thing that can be automated, and then we spend time on the creativity, okay, on the things that matter, where we need a brain to process. That, I think, is a mindset shift that we need to drive. There's also another important aspect that we many times look at AI adoption with only a technology lens, from a technology lens only. But it's not only that. As the previous industrial revolutions, this revolution as well, and I use the term revolution on purpose, has also a lot of societal impacts, a lot of ethical impacts, and a lot of leadership challenges that we need to overcome and address. So it's a multidisciplinary thing that we need to focus on, not just adopting the technology.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And when you're saying about the revolutions, there were several revolutions in the humanity history, but none of them happened so quickly. I think maybe that's also another factor, that it just, in a matter of 5 years or even 3 years, it just such tremendous change happening that people can't wrap around their mind around what is happening. But
In a matter of days and months, it took
yeah,
days for ChatGPT to reach the 1 million users and 2 months to reach
exactly.
the 100 million. No other online service had this level of acceleration so fast. Okay,
Absolutely.
services that we use every day, like Instagram and Facebook and Netflix, it took them months or years to
Yeah.
reach that level of
Yeah.
user adoption. Yeah.
And when internet was implemented or discovered, I don't know which word to use, it took 10 years to get to significant number of people using it. So it's lightning speed, I can say.
Yeah.
So if you have to bet today, what are these top 3 human skills that are the most important that we have to cultivate in ourselves?
I will have to say that over the past years, and as I look at myself, with these 30 years of journey behind me right now, if I look at one skill that helped me, process what was happening and also help me adopt the changes, and embrace them and leverage them for my own benefit, talking about professional benefit, but also personal benefit. The number one skill for me is adaptability. The skill is actually, we are, if you put on top of the technology evolution also the changes that are happening around us, with the geopolitical challenges, with the climate challenges, all of these create an uncertainty mix that is very tough for people to really address. And adaptability, so the ability to be able to unlearn, relearn, upskill yourself and reskill yourself, change course from now and then, to make sure that you follow, what is happening quickly. Okay, quickly. This is a number one skill. I think if I want to add the two more, there is one that is very important in the era of AI, and that's critical thinking. When a lot of tasks will be automated, or a lot of outcomes will be produced with AI, our ability to understand the output that we get from the AI is very important. Our ability to question, assumptions, our ability to focus on what would be the thinking behind the AI, so to explain why AI produced such results, and to be critical about the outputs and not just adopt them is very important. And then the last one, which I referred to in when I talked about adaptability, is curiosity and learning. Okay, so we need to be curious. We need to try to understand what's happening around us. How do
Yeah.
we adopt our learning? Learning strategies actually is one of the key skills that World Economic Forum has indicated as the top skills for the next decade. Not just the learning capability, but also strategizing about the learning and focusing on the areas that could help us build the skills we need for the future.
Learning, absolutely. That's one skill that everyone has to have. And given the companies have so much to deal with, right? All the companies not only have to automate, think about the new systems they have to implement, but also keep the customers and really find their new place in this new environment. Sometimes the focus on upskilling is not there, which is sad, but it's a fact across industries. So learning and self-learning, I would say, is also very important, because nobody's going to handheld you to the future. You just have to do something yourself, right?
And to add
And
to that, Annie, if I
yeah,
may,
yeah, of course.
I think this era is unique, okay? Because we have abundance in learning opportunities. We have abundance in available technology, so everybody can leverage AI technology for free today and can experiment by leveraging AI. And everybody has access to learning opportunities to learn how to use AI. So not only technology companies like the one I'm working in, Microsoft, but others as well are offering free learning courses on AI, technology courses, but there are also so many courses for business users, for technicians, for data scientists, for every individual that we can all leverage and start experimenting and embracing and feeling more confident about how we use this technology on our day-to-day lives.
So I guess that for the younger generations, that's more kind of normal, and all these changes are more normal. But for people in their 40s and 50s, they see a complete change of everything they knew now is starting changing, and very, very fast. So what is the one thing that they should do? I mean, is it adapting, or is it starting over? There's so many people who are really confused of what is next.
I have a bit of unconventional opinion on that, and I would
I count
share it
on
with
this.
you.
I count on this, Myladie.
I think if I look, for example, at developers and programmers, okay, so this is my field of expertise. I believe junior developers are more at risk with AI than senior developers.
Oh,
Okay. And the reason is that a person who is like 40 and 50 years old and they have that experience and they have that level of maturity, the level of industry understanding, the level of solution understanding, these skills are very important today. Okay, so I would not say to anybody who's 40 or 50 years old, oh, forget what you learned, forget what you did, you need to start over. No. It's rather than building on the unique skills they have, building on their understanding of the business they're in, building on their industry maturity and leadership experience to really leverage the AI to their benefit. And of course, if I was them, I would start experimenting and I would start looking at areas that AI could really help their business, finding the right scenarios, the right use cases to embed AI into their business, no matter the sector they work in. So I think that's important. I would also tell them to start learning prompting, not coding, prompting. Prompting becomes a very important skill set, because the level of quality of the prompt and the guidance you give to AI, that brings you back the quality in the responses and the outputs. And there are a lot of prompt engineering courses that they could follow right now to really master this skill. And then the other thing and the last thing I would suggest is for them to join some communities, attend webinars or follow, or even engage with the younger generation in a reverse mentoring. Like
Yeah.
they mentor younger people on the industry and from their experience, and they get mentored on adopting this technology into the day-to-day operations. I think it's a unique opportunity for people in the mid, let's say, stages of the career to start thinking about not how they will scrap their previous career and start over, but how they will evolve their career with the opportunity of AI.
No, absolutely. When you said it so eloquently, absolutely, I completely agree with you. And I think that there's so many people who are afraid. And as you said, it's overwhelming. There's so much out there, so many tools, so many new applications are coming day in and day out, non-stop. So the thing is, how do you select the AI tools to learn? Because they change every day. Not the change, but new and new are coming up. So how do you focus on what matters when it comes to AI tools?
I think it's a matter of how you put your personal and professional targets. Okay, so AI tools are everywhere. They're so abundant. There's a big hype. There are so many companies who are creating right now the tools for the employees and the working groups. So it's a matter of how you put your focus. For example, I could use our own tools as an example. We have Microsoft Copilot. This is Microsoft AI platform, AI tools platform for the office worker. Okay, so you can use this for summarizing a meeting, even following a meeting that you are not able to join, for analyzing data in Excel, for creating reports, or for generating more, I don't know, valid language in some of the emails. So it helps you save time. And many of we have actually a very interesting website, and I really encourage your readers to go through, because there's a lot of research there and surveys from office workers, not only within our company, but also from our customers who adopt such tools. And it shows that 4 out of 5 office workers are using these tools today, and they report that they are satisfied because they get back a lot of time. And when they get back a lot of time, then this time can be focused on tasks that are more meaningful, more creative, more focused in the center of the business of the organization. So that's, for example, one way of using AI tool. If you are a creator, you can use tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and Perplexity to really explore different ideas, to produce some designs. I'm using them sometimes when I write articles and I need help to post.
Yeah.
So I want them to summarize in 2 lines for me the article. It helps me create a more engaging LinkedIn post, for example. So there are options for everyone to use. Programmers use GitHub Copilot because it helps them produce code faster. And actually, today, almost half of the world's code is written by AI tools. That's what
Half.
I said, junior
Wow.
programmers. Almost half of the world's code is produced by AI, and 75% of developers say they're satisfied with the outcome. So it depends on what is your job, what is your role, and where is the area where you can find the efficiency and, focus on being more productive.
No, absolutely. When you said about the creative usage of AI, I do that day in and day out. So I use all type of AIs, everything that I hear, just test it. Sometimes it's very funny. Some will give you one idea, the other will give you a completely different idea. So it's worth even testing
Yeah,
several and see
yeah.
which one appeals more to the way you work and the way you create. So Perplexity is also amazing. I haven't used Google for a long, long time. That was what I was thinking. It's funny how everything works.
Yeah.
So how does AI change leadership? Given that now there are quite a number of tasks that are automated, and everything is in a digital space. So leadership becomes a bit more difficult, I think. What is your opinion?
Leadership changes as well, and it needs to evolve because I think AI can help automate, can help bring results because it produces efficiencies, okay, and also innovation because it gives a competitive edge to the companies who are innovating with AI. But the reality is when your products are developed leveraging AI, your communication, internal and external, is developed leveraging AI. What is missing is that human element, okay? The ability to really touch the employees, touch in a sense, okay, the
Yeah.
employees, and to ability to lead and communicate with empathy, with understanding, and with personal connection. So think about a leader who's preparing his message to his company employees, and AI can help him generate a real perfect message. Okay, it gives him or her words that are unique and perfectly selected. But then, beyond what he will say, it's how he says that and why he says that. And that is the human element that we really need to focus on in this era when we want to inspire, when we want to motivate, when we want our team to navigate complexity, when we want them to deal with uncertainty. We need to deep dive into these human skills that are motivating and mobilizing teams. Actually, our own research shows that more than 60% of the workers say that they need empathy from the leaders. That is more important in a world that is AI augmented and remote or hybrid, if I could say. So this is one element. And the other element I would say is learning agility, adaptability, curiosity, the things we just discussed are also important for leaders. Because as AI is changing the landscape, as AI is changing the competitive landscape, as a lot of industries are disrupted with AI, and all of industries are disrupted with AI, by the way, leaders also need to practice curiosity. Leaders also need to take risks. They also need to innovate. They also need to adapt themselves into the changes. So it's, yes, I think it's this AI era is a really big test for leaders.
Yeah.
It gives them a very hard time. And also, it's actually the time where real, strong, purpose driven, and empathetic leaders will show up and will stand out in the crowd.
Yeah, it's I agree. It gives you that the edge, right? So who is good enough to basically bridge between the AI and the people, and who is not good enough? That's the test. So have you seen? And I guess that in terms of empathy, given that with all the change there is more anxiety, and obviously people want to be reassured, and empathy matters that much more than before. So yeah, that's something that not a lot of people can do, unfortunately. I don't know, from what is your personal opinion, do leaders actually get it?
I would say
Personal opinion, just
it's very
based.
tough to say no. It's
Yeah.
a very tough to say no. However, what I see is that there is a gap between what employees need and feel and what leaders do. Okay. And our research, also our own research, shows that. If we look at AI, for example, I see two areas where I believe leaders have blind spots. One area is the leaders who don't embrace AI into their organization because they are like old school. They believe this is a hype. They believe this is only for American companies and not for our company in Greece. Okay. I hear that from time to time. These leaders really don't understand that their employees already use AI. Okay. They use AI at home. They use ChatGPT at home. Okay. Almost every home
Everybody
uses
does that.
ChatGPT. Okay. So these people will bring their AI, the application that they are familiar to work. They will not admit it because it happens, under the scenes, as the company does not embrace an AI strategy. But these people will bring AI at work. They will leverage their own, each one of them, their own AI without control, without security, without ethical consideration of that technology. Okay, so that is one big major blind spot. And the other major blind spot that I see is that many companies are thinking when they embrace AI that this is only a technology challenge. Okay. Although it is a challenge that requires a lot of change management in terms of preparing the employees, in terms of skilling the employees, in terms of embedding AI ethical principles into the day-to-day work, in terms of designing with ethical considerations from the very beginning, in terms of security, because security is also very important in the era
Yep.
of AI. Cybersecurity is a very big topic. So they think it's only technology. We just bring a tool and people
Yeah.
will use it.
Yeah.
That's not the
And
way
that's
it
it.
works. Sorry.
So, have you seen a lot of people who reinvent themselves in the era of AI? And what do they do differently?
I think the people who reinvent themselves, and for example, I would say I discussed coders before, developers. If 45% or almost half, okay, of the world's code is written by GitHub Copilot, that is a very big, reinvention, let's say, of the way
Yeah.
people are coding, because this code is high quality code. Okay, it's a but I could say also in the creative professions, we've seen a lot of AI adoption now. Marketeers, designers, all they use AI to experiment. And the reality is that when you see how many different options, how many different proposals or recommendations about a certain, creative topic you can get from AI, that gives you the ability to collaborate and handshake with AI in a complete different way. We also see art transforming. We've seen the first art competitions that where artists won by leveraging AI to produce images, and they actually said that it took them hours to produce this AI generated image that won the competition by leveraging different prompts and by experimenting. And it actually, they discussed about their AI companion or the AI, not assistant, but AI colleague who
Yeah.
helped them build that AI generated image that won the competition. So there's a lot of, I would say, non conventional use cases, not only in the business side, but also in the arts and culture side, where AI really makes a difference and it creates a lot more opportunities for the people.
Yeah. No, I agree. And when you talk about images, and I do create a lot of images, it's you need to know the prompts very well and test a
Exactly.
lot because sometimes people think, oh, it's an image, it's easy. No, no, it's not easy at all. And I think AI has not yet grasped the facial kind of expression of humans and things with hands and this and that. So if you're trying to draw a human, it's unbelievably
We
difficult.
get
You can
there. We'll
uh,
get there
yeah, we
very
get there.
soon,
Yeah,
sooner
it's
than you think.
yeah, I guess so. It's improving. It's because I use a
Yeah.
lot of these tools. It's improving day to day, and in every day
Yeah.
I see something that is better in the image that I create. You mentioned about not the divide, but the thin line between the AI that is helping us and AI that is not. So, what is this thin line, and how do we make sure we don't cross it?
Look, technology from the very start of the humanity, when humans were creating tools, these tools were created having a good purpose in mind, survival of the human race.
Yeah,
Of course, these tools were not always used for good purposes. Okay, I mean, we can give you the axe and the knife are very good examples. You can leverage those to build things or to hunt for food, but at the same time, you can use these things to kill. Okay, so it's always the use that matters. It's not the technology itself that is bad, it's the use of the technology that could create bad outcomes. Now, there are, of course, a lot of principles, and I think these are long-standing ethical values that we have developed as humanity that we can embed in AI technology as well. And what is very optimistic for me is that the technology industry as a whole is united into this. So we at Microsoft, we have our Office for Responsible AI, where we make sure that responsible AI practices are embedded by design into our systems. Other companies do the same. We all participate in coalitions about ethical AI. We collaborate with regulators like the EU, for example, where the AI Act is now there, and we are, making sure that we consult. We offer also recommendations, but we also embrace and embed these AI principles by design, but also by implementation into our technologies. The key areas that I see that are very important is fairness and inclusiveness. So making sure that AI systems are fair, are treating everybody in a fair way, they are inclusive, they are not discriminative, they don't reproduce biases. It's security and privacy, how we treat private information, especially from citizens when we talk about healthcare or when we talk about financial services transactions, but also elements like transparency, how AI makes decisions, how explainable are AI systems to the end user, so that an end user that gets a recommendation about an investment or a doctor who gets a recommendation about a diagnosis really understand what's behind and how AI concluded to that. So it's our responsibility as coders to embed AI in the development of the applications, as corporations to implement AI with ethical principles, as regulators to make sure that AI regulations are there and they are evolving as AI technology evolves, and as individuals also to demand for ethical AI and to make sure that we have the critical thinking, as we discussed in the beginning, to understand when AI is used for bad causes.
That will be a steep road, actually, to do that, because while there are a lot of companies who understand and want to do that, like I see daily a pushback at high levels everywhere in the world. So I hope the good part wins this battle. So if you have to advise somebody to get their knowledge on AI and start using AI and help their daily life and their work, what would you say? What are the 3 things you would recommend somebody to start learning about AI so they can help them?
Number one, understand what is the industry, depending on your industry, let me put it this way. Depending on your industry, what is the use case where AI can help you save time, can help you optimize your business, can help you reduce cost, etc. So number one is focused on where you work, what is your industry, what is your expertise. Number two is prompting. Okay,
Yeah.
we discussed about the prompting.
Yeah.
Prompting is very important. Prompting is our IP. Okay, that's how I call it. The prompts we make is what helps AI produce outcomes for us. And number three, start using some tools, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Copilot, whether it's Canva or Adobe Firefly, depending on your task. These are the things you should start experimenting. We need to start with curiosity and experimentation and refine our skill as we go so that we become proficient and we understand how this works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If let's say AI is the new colleague, the prompts is the
Yes.
language to speak to this colleague at the end of the
Correct.
day. That's it. So we have to
Correct.
learn it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to speak to them.
Exactly.
And then the outcome would be not what we want. If you look back in your experience, was there a moment in the development of AI at your work that you said, "Oh wow, this thing is going to really change the way we work"? Was there aha moment like this?
Look, I will tell you there were a lot of aha moments on the way. I think we all discuss the as ChatGPT being a big milestone, but even before that, because AI is embedded already for years into many of the applications many of us use. Okay. So when I was at the university, computer vision, so understanding, putting an image in the computer and asking them to understand and explain what is there in the image was like at research. But now you open your banking application and they recognize your face. Okay. And this has been there for many years now. Okay. So that is also an AI. Okay. It is an AI application behind. Of course, ChatGPT made a big change because of this exponential growth in the adoption and the aha moment that many of us, oh, now AI can generate text. Oh, now AI can write the article for me, or it can write an email for me. I think what is happening right now, my aha moment right now, is coming from two lenses. One is we have a pluralism of learning models in different languages available to many people depending on what they want to build, from GPT-4, from Llama, which is open source, from Mistral, language specific. For even in Greece we have a Greek language model, we have language models in different languages, we have small language models that are available to run into a PC. So right now we're not talking about one AI technology, we're talking about an ecosystem of technologies. Okay, which gives a lot of opportunity, but also creates a big of a challenge of how to manage and to a secure implementation of those many technologies. That's one aha moment. And the second aha moment comes with the agentic AI and the agents, which are applications that are autonomous. So thinking about an agent that could build your, booking for the summer holidays. It could start with your prompt and it could follow all the workflow for you to book your travel, to book your hotel, to book activities for you, etc. And this is not, it's not becoming, you mentioned it very well. It's not like now we have an AI assistant, we have an AI colleague. Okay. So in the future, each one of us, they will work and they will have like a colleague on the side who would do a lot of stuff for us. And that creates a tremendous opportunity for all
Yeah.
of us. And it's amazing. It's for me, that's the aha moment.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's funny when I talk to AI or ChatGPT, and I let's say 1 year ago, I would think in myself, oh no, ChatGPT cannot do that. I still had this
Yeah.
something would stop me ask the question, and then I was like, why would that stop me? And I would ask any question now, any question that you would not
Yeah.
think. What should I buy my husband? Even that for a present, right? I would not ask this question before because I would say, how would ChatGPT know? But the thing
Yeah.
is, it just throws some stuff at you
Yeah.
and it gives you ideas. And plus,
Exactly.
after so much usage, it has history with me and now knows the way I speak, the things I do. Sometimes it answers with something I've said, and it's a bit surreal, but
Yes.
I was
It's
just thinking
scary
about
and magic at the same time. I don't know
exactly,
how to say it.
exactly. So the other day I was just thinking, wow, I'm just talking to this thing as if it is a human. That's how you have to do it because that's how it works the best. But thinking about this, is that is AI actually dividing people and countries, or bringing us together? That's the question. Is it really bringing us together or dividing us?
I think it can do both. I have to say that. Unfortunately, yes, there is a risk of developing a new digital divide, which will be the AI divide. And many organizations like World Bank or United Nations have really highlighted that it can be that countries where they don't have the connectivity, the infrastructure, the talent, these countries can be left behind in the AI evolution. Same for within country, I have to say. There is also a risk of people, who are lacking the skills and the capabilities that we discussed in the beginning. They will not be able to follow, and that will give them lack of access to opportunity. Okay, lack of access to opportunity. So it's important, and that's why when we discuss with governments, we really advocate for the skilling as being very important investment for the workforce of the future. We at Microsoft, we are investing into skilling individuals across different countries, other companies as well. So it's very important that we don't, increase the gap, but we actually help people, become closer to that opportunity. It can be also equalizer. And I have to say that because I mentioned in the beginning that we are living in an era where the opportunity is abundant and the access to opportunity is abundant. And think about, I'm working with innovators and startups across these countries. These companies today have access to the same AI technology as major corporations with billion or multi-million dollar budgets have. Okay. So if you are a startup with 10 people or a company with 10,000 employees, today you have access to the same technology. And that is that a big equalizer? It helps, provide economic opportunity and economic growth to young people or to people who want to become entrepreneurs, independent of age and independent of where they are.
Yeah.
If they are in a village in Greece or Bulgaria, Ani, they have access to that technology. They can create a business, okay?
Yeah,
And they
totally.
have opportunity to be successful. Okay, if they are a farmer and they want to use AI for their plants, they can have a mobile phone and an application, and they can leverage this to make sure that their production is safe or bigger or grows. If you are a student in a remote area, you can get access to AI tutoring. Okay, so there is a lot of opportunity for AI to become an equalizer, and it's our responsibility to democratize that opportunity.
But also in the same time, it's equalizer in terms of skills, because before only people who had design training and specific tools could create nice, beautiful image. Now anyone can do
Everybody.
that, right? Or
It's like the evolution of photography, Anne.
exactly,
When
yeah,
we,
exactly.
when the mobile phone included a camera, okay, then everybody suddenly
Became
became a
photographers.
photographer because access
Exactly.
to photography now, to digital photography, is democratized.
Exactly. But also that leads me to a question about identity, because our work is our identity. And if AI is going to take quite a lot of the tasks, although they're boring, they're our tasks, the things that we did day in and day out. And if we think about our work as identity, what next? When this work is taken away, what is our identity?
Ooh, this is a very tough question.
Philosophical
I have to
question.
say, very philosophical question. I think it's how to say it. In the Western societies, at least in the Western societies, we we many times discuss this independent of the AI, that people connect their job with their identity. Okay.
Yeah.
These two things are different
Yeah.
inherently, but
Yeah.
still we confuse the work we do with our identity. I think I really want to look at this as an opportunity to take a look at our identity in a different way. I think the emergence of AI and the opportunity to work with AI is an invitation for us because it opens space for us to ask, if AI is doing a lot of repetitive tasks for me, what is the unique human value that I bring to my job? What is the one that I have as an individual that gives me that competitive edge, that helps me be creative, that helps me be empathetic depending on the job, that helps me inspire others, that helps me adapt to an ever changing world? So our job, our identity is not what we produce as an output, is the how, okay, we do it as well. And I think this is the way we need to address this. When we do the research at Microsoft Work Lab that I mentioned before, we see a shift in the way employees are looking into their work today. Okay, they're looking at their work, wanting it to be more meaningful, to be more energizing, more inspired, more connected to their growth. Okay, and that is how I would position this identity versus job or versus output. It's not, it's not the actual job, that it's not the actual output we produce, is how we produce it and how we bring our unique human capabilities into our day-to-day job that really creates the identity we need.
Wow. That was a great ending for the podcast. Thank you so much for all the insights that you shared with us. It was really interesting. And if you can just give me the website that people should go and check, that will be great.
It's Microsoft Work Lab.
Work Lab.
If you look at it, if you search for it, Work Lab, we have there a lot of surveys and a lot of articles that have to do with the adoption of AI in the modern working space.
Okay, great. I'll do that. But thank you so much, Myladie. And I wish you all the best. And maybe in 1 year we'll get together again and we're going to talk to see what we talked now and what happened in 1 year, just to see the tremendous change, because I'm sure that will be a big, big change.
I look forward to that. I'm sure next year will be very exciting. Thank you very much, Ani, for the invitation and the thought-provoking conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Please hit subscribe to the show and leave a review or comment about how you find this episode.